Hello and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, David Mitchell and Russell Howard, Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Sarah Millican. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. David, which category would you like?
Can I have finance, please?
OK, your category is finance. The answer is 175 billion. What is the question?
Is it how much would I get paid if I was allowed to drink from a can of Coca-Cola on this programme?
Is it by how much has my sperm count fallen since I was 18? I've only got 5 now. 2 of them wear armbands and 3 of them can only swim widths.
Is it what's Stephen Hawking's squad number in his local five-a-side team?
Is it how much did Elton John mistakenly spend on baby clothes this week?
Is it if you include bitches, how many problems Jay-Z actually has?
Is it what would the population of the Earth be if Jude Law had 20 penises?
Is it how much money have the Arsenal fans put up to have Adebayor killed?
Is it how many times will Ringo Starr have to play Beatles Rock Band before he scores 100% on the drums?
Poor old Ringo, constantly on beginner level, trying to unlock, get back.
Is it what's the Zimbabwean version of 50 Cent called?
Is it how many hairs you'd have to pluck from Susan Boyle's face to make her attractive?
From a woman?
From a woman as well. We would never do such jokes, such hateful material.
It's like a part-time job, keeping up with my beard.
Is it what horsepower is Jordan's vibrator?
What is the government deficit for this year?
Yeah, that's close enough. I'll give you that. You know, like, this isn't question time. The question I was looking for was how much is the country's budget deficit expected to reach this year? So well done, both of you.
OK.
This equates, this makes it easier for you, to 12% of GDP, which is the largest ever peacetime public borrowing figure and the highest figure in the G20. Politicians are now fighting over how to reduce this. Are you worried?
No, and do you know what? The fact that it's 175 billion isn't the embarrassing thing. The embarrassing thing is that no mainstream bank would lend it to us, so we've had to borrow it all from Ocean Finance.
Are we worried? We're totally screwed. I just found out today that I am being sponsored by a goat herder in Malawi. Let's just do what everybody else does when they need money and do an insurance job. Let's burn down Birmingham, that's 20 grand.
But the 2 options we've got 175 billion debt. The 2 options we'll be given are tax increases or they're going to cut public spending. We need to think outside the box. I've got a scheme to make us money. We take the Queen, we put her on the road. Everyone likes the Queen. We tour the Queen. Good evening, Norwich. Give me 6.
Like
2 nuns in a bath. Lesbians. Thank you, Philip. It will be...
I'm more limited that she'd be more like Top Gear Live or something that she'd go to.
That's only the first of my plans. The second, population cull. Everyone over 85 goes on total wipeout. If they make it, they live.
Instead of spending so much of our money in wars where we essentially bomb shepherds, let's pick a war with someone that we could take easily. Let's fight Spain, right? Because all our squaddies have already done the reconnaissance on holiday.
Why don't we, if you want to get rid of your debt, I'm not saying that no one thought of this, but there are companies that you just put all your gold into an envelope and you send it to them, and 3 weeks later, apparently a cheque comes back for the value of your gold. Surely you could do that with the nation's gold.
What I don't understand about those companies is they're advertising as if people are unaware that their gold might be worth money. Not only is gold delicious and useful, but it's also worth money. The thing about gold is it is useless, but it's worth money. In fact, economists, show you to how foolish economists are. They say in the depth of the recession, people will always need gold. No, people have never needed gold. You don't need gold.
Well, actually, here's a quick test, though. How much is a billion?
How much is a billion?
How much is a billion?
It's 1,000 million.
Is it? Are you sure?
It depends whether
Yeah.
you're in America or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, well, this is the kind of thing that could be slightly important when you're working out the finances of a country.
It's 1,000 million in America. It's a million if you're over here.
So is it 70? Is 175 million here? Is that what you're saying?
There's 1,000 million here. We use the American thing.
I'm just saying because we rang the Treasury just to check this, right? We asked the guy in the Treasury press office, do the Treasury give figures to the British billion, which is a million, or the American billion, which is 1,000 million? Like, and the Treasury said, it's the British billion. There's no way we'd give any other figure. And we said, are you sure? So a billion is a million. The Treasury went, I'll check. And then 5 minutes later, the spokesman went away and then came back and said, yeah, it's 1,000 million.
That was great. You must have had a party all day. It's 1,000th as bad as we thought, everyone. It's fine.
Did you see this? Bankers have started getting bonuses again. You know, it's a little bit... It's like finding out Bin Laden got air miles for 9/11.
They've launched a scheme.
It's a clever joke. Go on.
They launched a scheme to retrain sacked bankers as teachers. What sort of teacher is a banker going to be? Imagine that you have 30 apples and I have no apples. Give me all the apples. I have all the apples. Now I shall retire on a pension of 1 million apples.
We don't want bankers retrained as teachers, do we? It'll be the first time the school jumble sale has made a loss. It'll be shit.
Do you know the TUC are predicting riots?
Yes.
That's what they say. We'll return to the riots of the 1980s, like Toxteth and Brixton, which I thought were great riots. The idea of people rioting in their own area and destroying their own street. Yeah, I've blown up a car. Whose was it? Mine! Well, let's go riot where the rich people live. We can't. We've blown up the bus.
The debt thing is serious, and I think it's only a matter of time that, you know, Africa organises a concert for us. I, for one, would welcome African people clicking their fingers and going, every time I click my fingers, a TV gets repossessed. The TV news, who's been confusing viewers recently?
This is Derren Brown.
Yes.
Derren Brown, he may be one of the world's greatest illusionists, but he still can't spell the word Darren.
He's not even a magician, is he? He's not even a good magician. We had a great magician round our way. Used to do all the kids' parties when I was wee. He could make a sausage disappear into your body. He was great. He made my little cousin disappear. We still don't know where she is.
The usable light flickered in the gallery again.
What gets me is people are complaining that they were confused by Derren Brown's trick. If you're complaining that you're confused by a magic trick, you shouldn't be watching magic tricks because they are designed to confuse. I mean, to me, that's the sort of news that makes me think they should cancel the X Factor, pump poison gas into all public buildings and just restart the country from scratch.
If he can actually predict the lottery, why didn't he just do it the day before, take the money, and then he doesn't have to make any more programmes?
Well, I mean, obviously he can't predict the lottery. I think it's a trick. If he predict the lottery, you say what the lottery number's going to be before the lottery numbers, not just after, which I think what he did.
That's what he did,
What
yeah.
appeared on television is the lottery numbers, and then after that, his prediction of the lottery. Now, the cleverest thing about that trick is the fact that he has encouraged people to describe it as predicting the lottery, rather than saying the lottery numbers just after the lottery numbers. I also find it confusing that people are surprised that his programme explaining how he did it didn't explain how he did it. He wouldn't be a successful television magician if he told everyone how he did all his tricks.
He's brilliant. He's brilliant being able to predict stuff, though. My mother-in-law, who has a hearing aid, can tell when people's mobile phones are going to go off. And I just think it's fantastic. Sitting in a train carriage going, your mobile will ring.
My favourite stupid thing they said, though, was various explanations. One person suggested, right, that he'd filmed all possible combinations for the actual lottery answers. Now, there are 4 million possibilities. You'd be able to spot if they suddenly cut to take 13,096,000 and he's there looking really haggard with a beard going, oh, only 1 million more takes to go.
And then it involves, at the key second, finding the right tape. Of all of which one? Oh, God! Somewhere in the middle.
I think it's impressive we managed to get this much conversation out of a magic trick. It was just a trick. Why are we still analysing it?
What have we learned? We've learned magicians must have big beards. Because a magician with a big beard, a Gandalf or a Merlin, he fights a demon, he summons a demon, he throws lightning. A magician with a wee beard is generally going to ask you to think of a word and then reveal that he has already written down the words.
You're right, Gandalf should get more shows than Channel 4. It's not what you know. It turns out for Gandalf, he's sitting at home having a fag going, I could top this. Okay, at the end of that round, the points go to Russell, David and Andy. Our next round is called Newsreel. We play in a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask you to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features the royal family.
Oh, I'm sorry we're late. There was heavy traffic on the M4. A lorry frightened Camilla and she nearly bolted. Oh, lovely to meet you. How do you do? How do you do? Nice chain. If I pull it, do you flush? Oh, hello, Mother. How are you? Lovely to see you. Oh, look, one black glove. Are you mourning Michael Jackson? I just don't understand what you're doing here, Mother. I thought you were opening a leisure centre in Wales. I thought you'd taken the Daimler. I'd cut the brake cable. Oh, what have I done? Oh, face it, I'm never going to be king. What a waste. Think of all the things I could have done. Lawyer, architect, lap dancer. She hasn't got a grey hair on her head. Oh, I wish you'd take off that bloody barrister's wig. Maybe if I just fell on her, I could make it look like an accident. Oh, did I say that out loud? I think he's talking about me.
Well, here you are, Charles. Just a little something in recognition of, whatever it is you do.
Oh, thank you very much, Mother. Excuse me, I haven't brought a hanky. Oh, what is it? Oh, lovely. Look, an iPod Touch. Yes, exactly what I wanted.
Well done, Hugh. Thank you very much. Now we play a round called the Three Mocketeers. This game involves Sarah, Andy and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performance stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winners are the people I judge to produce the funniest stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is environment. Who wants to come in on that? Andy?
Now, you may be aware that there's certain light bulbs that have been banned as of last week. Obviously, cartoons are going to have to change now, because whenever they have an idea in a cartoon, don't they, a little light bulb comes up over their head. Now it's going to be a differently shaped light bulb, and it's going to take ages to come on. It's going to be like they've had a really crap idea. People will want to score the old bulbs. They'll be down on the street corner. They'll be like, hey, what do you want? Do you want an eighth? Do you want a quarter? Do you want a gram? I want 150 watt. Opaque. Bayonet.
Thank you very much, Andy Carson. OK, let's spin the wheel again. Subject is relationships. Sarah.
I've been with my boyfriend now for a few years and it's gone really well, but we've started sort of spicing things up in the bedroom. We recently tried dirty talk, and neither of us had done it before, and we're both a bit too nice, and neither of us drink. It was never going to go well. But we thought we'd give it a go, and I said, well, I'll start off. You know, I'm an independent woman. Oh, I didn't do that. That'd be a really weird way of starting sex. I'm ready. And I didn't really know what you're supposed to say, and I just sort of went, I've been a bad girl. I'm sorry about that. And he said, apology accepted. But recently we've had a bit more practice and he started off and he went, you've been such a bad girl. But I think I'm going to have to punch you. Too far there, hasn't he? Dad misheard him. He hadn't said punch, he'd said punish, which is apparently entirely acceptable in terms of sexy lingo. They hadn't really thought it through, because I said, what kind of punishment did you have in mind? And he said, take the bins out.
Thank you very much, Sarah. OK, that leaves it with Russell. Let's see what you have. Spin the wheel. And it's happiness. Away you go.
They look very happy. It's amazing what can really buck you up. I was in Sydney recently. I was at the zoo. And this zoo, it was so wonderful. This bloke was like, a couple of years ago, some bloke got into the lion enclosure, tried to read the Bible to a lion. They killed him. It's a bloody long book, implying that was the reason why they did it. Well, this is dragging. I quite agree. Can we munch him, you know? The thing that makes me happiest in the world is, without doubt, my family. My mum in particular, right? I did Wembley Arena, biggest gig of my life. My friend saw my mum outside the entrance to that gig, pointing at her bits as people are coming in, going, that's where the magic comes from. Now, right? That is wonderful behaviour. I've never been prouder in my life, but nobody knew she was my mum. All they'd seen was some lovely old lady in the street declaring that she had a magic fanny. Like a weird extra from Heroes. Very clever, Sailor. Can you do that?
Thank you very much, Russell. Adding it up at the end of that round, the points go to Andy. The next round is called Headliners. Here's a picture of the England football team at Wembley, but what does ERWC stand for?
Is it everything that Wayne Rooney can't do for himself? Eating, reading, writing, counting?
Is it England reveal wife swap club? And Lampard has just got Cheryl Cole.
Is it England release Wayne from captivity?
Is it expectations raised, woefully crushed?
I don't know what they're called. Is it 8 really wants cuddle?
That photograph, it looks like Lampard has Beyonce's arse. He's quite the booty on him, hasn't he? Yeah.
Is it about Wayne Rooney, but is it even Ron Weasley's cuter?
That's sinister on every kind of level. But you're looking at the football and going, he's quite pretty, but I prefer Ron.
Is it actually from a newspaper for dyslexics, and in fact just reads crew?
Who would run as a business model? I'm sorry, I'm not one of the dragons here, but who would go, dragons, I've got a brilliant plan. A newspaper for dyslexics. You just print any letters in any order and they can just interpret whatever way they feel like. Good news, bad news, they decide.
And at the same time, we bring out a podcast for the deaf. It's a fantastic...
I think it's multi-platform.
Is it England reach World Cup?
Yes, it is, of course. Thank you very much. Cheers. Yes, the answer I was looking for was England reaches World Cup. England's football team beat Croatia 5-1 and secured their place at the World Cup finals in South Africa in 2010 with 2 games to spare. Are you happy about this?
I'm delighted. There are 34 teams in the World Cup, and I can now support 33 of them.
I watched in the pub, and what was lovely about it is that everyone was like, yeah! And I was in Bristol, and this bloke went, you going to South Africa? And this bloke went, absolutely not. If I wanted to get murdered, mugged, or sexually abused, I'd go to the docks wearing a dress.
The sports coverage is going to be very different in South Africa, isn't it? Injury news, John Terry's been murdered and Gary Neville was raped in his car. The FIFA PlayStation game in this tournament is going to be like Grand Theft Auto, man. Level 1, kill your way to the stadium.
They blamed the Wags for the 2006
it
World
ludicrous,
Cup.
yeah.
It was nothing to do with Rooney stamping on Ronaldo's nuts. It's like, no, she kept me up all night watching Marley and Me. Respect for me. Are they that insatiable? It's ridiculous.
Marley and Me is not a good film. You're kidding me. I'm sorry, that is a gender divide right there. It's muck with the dog and the whole... It's
got a lovely dog in it. Shut up.
What's happened to Cheryl Cole in the Wags, man? She used to be really attractive and now she looks like someone's tried to clean the hair out of their bath plug using a twiglet. Beautiful to suddenly somebody's drawn eyes onto a snooker ball. you know what I'd like to see at this tournament? What would really make it for me? Do you know the World Cup single? Let the football players write their own single. Yeah. Kick it in the goal! Kick it in the goal! Their goal, not our goal! Kick it in the goal!
The good thing about the World Cup, though, is it can bring the entire nation together, and it's really exciting. I remember the 1990 World Cup was my first World Cup, 10 years old. Roger Miller, 42 years old, wrinkly, scoring goals, wiggling his hips. That moment when Platt scored that goal against Belgium, I'll never forget it. Commentator, oh my God! Our entire family are going, yes, roaring. And then this is what's wonderful about the situation. My sister holding her rabbit, the rabbit died. Because we were shouting so loud. You're like, yeah, wasn't the rabbit's dead? Would I have been happier? David Platt had just killed my little sister's rabbit. Unbelievable! Every time he was on telly, my sister, there he is, the rabbit killer.
Identify with footballers, man. They're just so brain dead. If you had a footballer special of the England team on the Crystal Maze, their task would be to try and order pizza. Pepperoni, we're running out of time! Pepperoni! I can't work the dial! I can't work the numbers!
Well, can I say, I don't know who any of the people you've been talking about are. This just seems to be terrible news for cricket. There's going to be a whole summer where it's going to be even harder to watch cricket. More people are going to be talking about people I've never heard of, who apparently are both billionaires and brain dead. And I find it all deeply depressing. And the other thing is, surely now, post-credit crunch, we hate rich people. Why do footballers get away with not being hated? They should be forced to emigrate. They should be forced to go to South Africa. It doesn't matter what they do there, but then never return, because they've got loads of money for doing something that doesn't matter.
So have you got...
I just say, when we're weighing up people who get paid lots of money for doing stuff that doesn't matter, we really shouldn't start too much of a witch hunt.
The worthless shit we do isn't paid nearly as well as the worthless shit they do.
Oh,
You've got to get into a better class of bollocks.
I have a...
Point out, David, nothing matters. You know, we're essentially all highly evolved monkeys clinging to a rock that's falling through space, and the rock itself is dying.
So roll on the World Cup.
David Cameron will probably be Prime Minister during this World Cup, won't he? Which is going to be good, having to watch him pretend that he enjoys football with that smile on his face that Prince Philip has when he's watching Aborigines do a rain dance.
So who's going to benefit from it? Okay.
The economy is
going to benefit. There is actually that tangible, concrete thing. Yeah. The economy will benefit from it.
The economic bonanza that they say will come is not going to happen because there is no time difference. So we sell a few pizzas and there's more booze. But the matches are at normal British times. There's no time difference. No one is going to go to work. It'll be the first time you can actually work out how many illegal migrants there are because they'll be the only people working.
The pause is going, we're the only ones who are keeping this ship afloat, Voloshkri. I know. Until next Tuesday when our qualification game is on. If England play Poland, we are genuinely fucked in this country. Okay, at the end of that round, ladies and gentlemen, the points go to Russell, David and Andy. Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. I caught ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is lines you wouldn't hear in a horror movie.
Get out of the water, quick! Is it a shark? It's Barrymore!
I am Lucifer, Lord of the Night! And tonight I'll be singing Complicated by Avril Lavigne.
Dave, wake up. I think I can hear a noise downstairs. Wake up. Oh, hold on. No, it's just the washing machine. I put it on earlier on.
He's making a suit out of women's skin. Gok Wan has gone too far this time.
I am from Transylvania and I will suck you dry. Oh, yes? And what about your cheeky sister?
No, I'm sorry, Freddie. I think your sat-nav's on the blink. This is Elm Crescent.
The child is vomiting, its head is rotating, and it seems to be possessed by the devil. However, Britain's social services have visited 20 times, and they think everything's okay.
I'm here to fix the hinges.
As a vampire, I cannot bear direct sunlight, which is why I moved to Scotland. But now I can't find any virgins.
Red rum. Red rum.
Is over the last and wins the national.
From the makers of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre comes the Swindon Lawnmower Kerfuffle.
This potion that turns you from Dr. Jekyll into Mr. Hyde, it looks a lot like 6 cans of Stella.
Stay away! Stay away from the castle! The cafe's overpriced and the gift shop shits!
The next topic is unlikely things to hear on a children's TV programme.
We have John Craven. If you want to see him again, press the red button.
This drawing has been sent in by Robert, age 9. That's a shit drawing, Robert. They're children your age in China who can make shoes.
This week's episode of Thomas the Tank Engine has been cancelled and replaced by Ronald, the replacement bus service.
No, it's not Bagpuss, but it is a dead cat I've turned into a bag.
There's a rumour that the Teletubbies have been infiltrated by Al-Qaeda. Have you, Tinky Winky? Loo-loo-loo-loo-loo. Have you, Dipsy? Loo-loo-loo-loo-loo. Rashid?
And remember, while crystal meth is a lovely treat, it is very bad for your teeth.
Flobber-dobber-dob, said Bill. Bloody foreigners, said Ben.
Flobber-dobber-dobber-dob, said Ben, because he'd had a stroke.
And today, children, we're going to be learning where babies come from. Part 1, foreplay.
This year, we're sending condoms to Africa. So just ask your mum and dad to wash a couple out and send them in.
Are your mummy and daddy out of the room? Good. Listen, you're adopted.
Next up, Sharpie and Ryan take their audition failure very badly in Columbine High School Musical.
At the end of that round, the points go to Russell, David and Andy. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, David Mitchell and Russell Howard. Commiserations to Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Sarah Millican. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night. Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Ben Norris and Russell Howard, Hugh Dennis, Milton Jones, and replacing a slightly unwell Frankie Boyle, David Mitchell. We start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question on the board of 6 categories? Milton, which category would you like?
Let's have politics.
OK, politics it is. Your category is politics. The answer is over a million. What is the question?
Is it how many extra minutes Manchester United get to play if they're not winning?
Is it how many people right now at home are going, where's Frankie Boyle? Are they thinking Adrian Charles has finally got him? You might be right.
Is it the number of people who phoned into work on Monday morning saying they couldn't come in because they'd watched Derren Brown on Friday night and they were still stuck to the sofa?
Did you do it? Did you do it?
I did. It was shit.
Is this how many numbers did they count down from in the last OCD moon mission?
Is it when a girl tells you she's had 3 sexual partners, what do you hear in your head?
Is it when my wife and I did our IVF, how many abnormal sperms were found in my first ejaculate?
Yeah, we were all there. We had a lot of support. After this, we're all going to see Frankie as well.
I say my first ejaculate, it wasn't my...
No, obviously it wasn't your first ever ejaculate. Because that would explain why it wasn't working till then.
I was told.
Oh, this? Yeah. Oh, we use this. We don't need you for a while, Doctor. We'll try with this first and then come back to you.
Is it how many flip-flops can you get in a phone box?
Is it how many times did Mahmoud Ahmadinejad vote in the Iranian election?
OK, I'm going to move to a correct answer.
Is it how many of Jordan's ex-partners have this week sought legal advice?
How much does your house have to be worth for a chance that Lib Dems, if they ever got in, might be able to tax it?
That is close enough, Andy Parsons. The question I was looking for was, on what value of house do the Liberal Democrats want to introduce a new tax? At their conference this week, they proposed a 0.5% annual levy on the most expensive homes in the country. The new tax would be payable on an estimated 250,000 properties. Is this a ludicrous idea, or does it simply not matter because they're not getting in, and frankly, they could say, we'll steal your kids for all the difference it will make to their electorate?
Because it was Vince Cable, basically, that came up with this scheme, and he's come up with lots of ideas, like cutting ID cards and Trident and stuff like that. And you just look at him and you think, Vince, you're a lovely bloke. It's not happening. You know, none of your policies, doesn't matter what you do. It's like my granddad telling me how he's going to seduce the cheerleader from Heroes. It's not happening. I got plans. She's going to need to regenerate. Granddad, it's not going to happen.
The Lib Dem party conference is just the warm-up party conference, so everyone commenting on party conferences can have a bit of a practice of all the Lib Dem comments. And then by the time it comes to the party conferences of one of the 2 parties that might win the election, we'll be all ready and fighting fit. The only thing you know about a Lib Dem policy is that it definitely won't happen. So, if it sounds ridiculous, good, great, ridiculous thing won't happen. If it sounds brilliant, oh no, brilliant thing won't happen. Because they have a brilliant idea. The Tories, the Labour Party, they can't copy it because they'll look bad. So, you know, the Lib Dems could have the answer to the credit crunch, and it would preclude, their saying it, would preclude the Tories or the Labour Party adopting it as a policy. So anything good, the Lib Dems say is unpatriotic.
But it's true, though, like, to be honest, you've got to feel sorry for Nick Clegg, because this is his one chance to speak and everyone's going to listen. Have you ever seen him in Parliament? It's hilarious. They put him on a little naughty step in the corner and he sat there like that. He's like the kid that your mum made you play with. You know?
Well, just go back to the original thing. Just, you know, let's just discard or accept this particular idea in itself. Like, taxing people's houses, taxing rich people's houses. Is it a ludicrous idea, or is it...
It's completely unworkable because people will then reduce the value of their houses. Yep. So it'll be like reverse estate agent and say, oh, no, it looks like a lovely room, but it's a lot smaller than it seems. Our kitchen's rubbish. Our patio, yeah, admittedly, that is nice, but there is a body buried under it. In posh areas, they'll get, you know, neighbourhoods will get together and reduce the value of their property by having an adopt a paedophile scheme or something.
that would be a good thing? To have middle-class people finally talk down, stop whining on about how valuable their houses are. Would that be a great thing to have people say, well, my house is shite? Have Channel 4 run programmes called A Place in the Slum?
It makes sense, because the principle behind house buying shows at the moment...
Yeah, you know, it's a fly.
It's a fly. I know it's
on my
been a fly.
hand.
Do you know what it is? It's Frankie.
Yeah.
Frankie's spirit has come back as a fly.
He's transmogrified.
He has, yeah.
We've been cursed. That's what it is. They've taken Frankie, now the flies are coming. What next, dear viewer? What next?
Make sure, you know, these policies are always going to have problems, though, isn't it?
Oh.
You killed Frankie.
You killed Frankie's soul. Oh, man, you really have flattened him.
And also, picketed by the Animal Liberation Front now.
We're building ourselves up to say, you know, like we killed a fly or a jackal.
I didn't kill the fly.
Suddenly
it's a group of us who killed the fly.
Go.
Oh, come on, we were all there.
None of us spoke up to save the fly. Yeah. Let's face it. The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
I didn't believe you were going to go through with the killing.
Yeah, but let's move on. In other political news, where is David Cameron struggling for support?
He's struggling up north, Dara.
He is struggling up north.
Who would have thought a posh Etonian is not popular in Manchester? What next? The BNP don't like reggae?
He's worried, isn't he? He's very worried he doesn't dare visit because he thinks they might capture him and put him in an enormous wicker Angel of the North.
Apparently, he's not going to get many votes in Scotland, they don't think, although his full name is apparently David William Donald Cameron. Now, that's a tragedy, isn't it? That'd be like getting no votes in Yorkshire when your full name is Percy Fred Flatcat Whippet Tetley.
He couldn't be... And I'm, you know, as a visitor to your country and all that, like, well, the north-south thing's always intriguing to me. He couldn't be more southern, though.
There's a north-south thing in your country, isn't there?
There's a bit of a window.
It doesn't make the headlines in the same way, though, you're right.
It's never really been a cause of much attention.
No. Everyone's got a massive sense of humour about it.
But it's not really a north-south thing because, you know, the north is kind of... It's kind of a north... other people in the north thing. It's kind of among themselves.
What were you going to say, Dara?
I was going to say that, you know, Cameron... It intrigues me even though that people have only just noticed this now, that he may have difficulty in the north. Because I'd imagine to northern eyes, Cameron couldn't look more southern if he wore a powdered wig and spoke French at court. It couldn't look less likely to appeal to the people of Newcastle or Gateshead or wherever.
Apparently the rumour is that David Cameron wants to make all towns in Britain triple-barrelled, like Kingston upon Thames, Berwick-on-Tweed. He wants to call it Leeds on Benefit.
We're at the end of that round, ladies and the points go to David Hewitt Milton. Our next round is called Newsreel. We play in a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask Hugh to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features Gordon Brown.
If you'd just like to pop outside for the photographs, Denise. Very much enjoyed our chat. Wondered if you might want to continue it on our own in a little bar, having a quiet drink. So, you would. That's good. David, what if you can help me out here? I think I'm in with Denise. So if you could do one after the photographs. Andy, I think Denise has got the hots for me, so if you could make yourself scarce, don't want you to cramp my style later. I think I'm in there. Anyway, as you can see, this is the door to number 10. We've got the painters in, so to speak. We put a net up for you there, Andy, just to make you feel at home. You can hit the ball into it if you like. So just smile.
Who is that bloke? I don't recognise him. And why is there a number 10 on the door when my number is number 7? Quick, move across here, because I think the free kick's coming. I don't need spectators, because I'm going to bloody lamp them.
Anyway, you're looking lovely, Denise. It's a lovely bar I'm taking you to. So, David, if you could just say that Fabio Capello has phoned you. You've got to go immediately for some extra emergency training at Wembley. I think she'll buy into that. She won't find that suspicious. Lovely, Denise. Beautiful. And Andy, I'm sorry about the net joke. I do value you. I love you. You're the only person in Britain who can make me look charismatic. So I'm going to chat up Denise now, boys. So look and learn. So, Denise, what flavour crisps do you like? I'll try anything. Blimey, that's what I was hoping you would say. So, salt and vinegar, cheese and onion, yet. Packet of nuts. No, maybe too early. Maybe too early for that. Anyway, keep smiling. Well, that's that. That's the photos over. So off we go. Lovely, Denise. There's no need for you two to hang around anymore. So off we go. Don't worry, David. I'll tell you what happens later. Come on, Denise. Time is of the essence. Sarah's back at 3 o'clock, so the clock is ticking. You pop into number 10, get your lady things. Andy and David won't be here when you get out, so say goodbye now. That's right. Here you go. No, don't go in there, Andy. Don't go. No. David, don't go. Shit!
Well done, Hugh. Now we play a round called President Bagago Haha. This game involves Milton, Andy and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performance stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winners are the people I judge to produce the funniest stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is travel. Who wants to come out? Andy Parsons.
Apparently, various airlines now from America have now got air marshals on transatlantic flights. Yeah? To stop somebody getting on a plane with a gun, they're now going to put somebody on a plane with a gun. You also get these machines now at airports which apparently will cling film your entire suitcases for you as a security measure. Now, that doesn't seem to me to be a fantastic way to stop theft, right? Let's face it, when you cling film your sandwiches, you don't then go, oh, my goodness, how am I going to break into them? And I've never heard anybody go, have you locked the front door? And somebody else go, no, but don't worry, I've cling filmed it.
Andy Parsons. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is young people. Russell.
Funky young people. You know, it's depressing being hit. I saw this the other day, it nearly killed me. It's a kid who was about 8 years old in a cafe with his mum. He went, here, Mum, doesn't matter how many of these you eat. He was eating a fun-sized Mars bar. Doesn't matter how many of these you eat, it never leads to fun. How depressing is that? It's not a happy meal. Life is suffering, Russell. Life is suffering. It shouldn't be like that when you're 8. When you're 8, you should be excited about the world. Can you remember the first time you saw a rainbow? Can you remember the giddy delirium in your mind? You're like, Dad, there's colours in the sky. I like the sky. I like colours. The two are combined. My mind is literally blown. I need answers, big man. I need answers. Well, that sun is called a rainbow. Oh, my God, it has a name. It has a name. This day can get no better. There's a pot of gold at the end of it. And it's guarded by a tiny leprechaun. Pull over, Dad. Pull over right now. Has anyone ever chased a rainbow? I did. You never forget it. I bet you didn't do this. Me and my little brother took a knife just in case the leprechaun acted up, right?
Thank you very much, Russell. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with as a subject. Let's spin the wheel. And subject is work.
The pollen count. That's a difficult job. Easiest job in the world, of course. Australian psychiatrist.
G'day, g'day. How you doing? No worries. Next.
I lost my job with lastminute.com for being persistently late. I lost my job as a cricket commentator for saying the words, I don't want to bore you with the details. If they make it illegal to wear the veil at work, beekeepers are going to be furious. My wife, it's difficult to say what she does. She sells seashells on the seashore. Some people say the firefighters deserve more money, but apparently a poll was taken and they all fell through a hole in the floor. Sometimes I wonder what my grandfather would think of what I do. He spent his whole life in the kebab business, was buried with all his equipment. He's probably turning in his grave.
Jones. Point at the end of that round. Go to Russell and Milton. Our next round is called Headliners. Here's a picture of the American president hard at work at the White House recently. But what does OCSW stand for?
Is it Obama can't stand Whitey?
Is it Obama challenges Sith warlord?
Obama's circumcision safety worries.
Is it a new series? Is it Obama crime scene White House?
Is it from the Republican press, and it's oh crap, Satan's winning?
Is it Obama cast spell Wingardium Leviosa?
Is it another headline from Dyslexic Weekly and in fact is just about cows?
I'm impressed by two things. I'm impressed both by the return of Dyslexic Weekly to our discussion and also by the fact that they wanted to alert the dyslexic population to the presence of cows. Cows, oh my God! Because cows are the natural predator of the dyslexic.
Is it Obama cancels Star Wars?
Yes, it is. Obama cancels Star Wars. Thank you very much, Danny Barton. The answer I was looking for was Obama cancelled Star Wars. This is news that President Barack Obama has decided to scrap the $20 billion Star Wars defence shield, which previous administrations claimed would have protected Europe from Iranian missiles by intercepting them from the air, as opposed to intercepting them when they were rolling about on the ground, presumably.
It'd be great if we actually had Star Wars technology. We wouldn't need missiles. We'd just be able to get Obama to use Jedi mind tricks on Ahmadinejad. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Just, these aren't the defence missiles you're looking for. You will now go non-nuclear.
The idea wasn't it, was that these Poland and Czechoslovakia would be protected from invasion from Russia.
Yes.
And you're thinking, well, you know, there's no way the Russians were going to invade Poland and Czechoslovakia. Poland and Czechoslovakia are in more danger from British stag parties.
I think Europe will be quite safe, because I phoned up the United Nations Rapid Response Force and they said, yes!
You see, the Americans are the Republican Americans are really annoyed that Barack Obama has cancelled Star Wars as though it existed. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And even if the reason they cancelled it is because it simply won't work, because it's run by computers and they'll never work. So, you know, Iran will launch a missile, we'll launch our Star Wars countermeasure. As we press the button, a thing will come up on the screen, little balloon, it says, Microsoft Missile Interceptor Shield has encountered a problem and needs to close. Do you wish to send an error report? Yes, but I haven't got time.
The thing is, though, it wasn't being built, really, to intercept Iranian missiles. It was being built to annoy the Russians. You hope you don't have to use the thing. It's just there to annoy... The Russians were getting really annoyed. You can't have lasers and missiles and things really near our country in countries we used to run. That's insulting to us as Russians. And there's a division in American politics about whether it is good to be as rude as possible to the nutty Russians or bad to be as rude as possible to those maniacs. And I don't know. I mean, there's no doubt that the Russians
Your choice of language alone would seem to place you in one camp rather than the other.
I think, don't get me wrong, I think the Russians are really insane. And not, right? Not all of them are insane, but they have an insane political culture. They see that weird, bald, flabby man with his shirt off fishing, and they think, yes, we want to vote for him. Oh, by the way, apparently he tortured people when he was in the KGB. What a guy. I think that's an odd kind of country. But I don't necessarily think the best thing to do with them is to annoy them even more. However, it is the most satisfying thing to do. So it's a question, shall we have a bit of fun? Poke the Russians, poke the Russians. Oh, my God, they're coming.
In other news, what has Justice Secretary Jack Straw been supporting this week?
He's been supporting the idea that heroin addicts should be able to get heroin off the NHS.
Yes.
It's quite an interesting idea, I guess. You know, apparently it will cut crime. But whether, you know, if you're a heroin addict and you go in hospital and get heroin, can you, if you're some sort of other addict, you know, if you're a sex addict, can you go into hospital? All right, nursey, any chance?
That would be great, wouldn't it? It'd be like obese people waddling towards hospital for cake.
Chocolate!
To be honest, though... No, you're right. It's obviously too late for you. Let's just give you cake and be done with it.
Thinking outside the box, if we gave obese people heroin, that might work. Very seldom see a fat
And we give
smack it.
junkies cake?
You know the ridiculous... I mean, this was based on a survey, isn't it? They've done a trial, and they found... The thing that they've based it on is they found that if you give people heroin on the NHS, they are less likely to buy heroin on the street.
You just get a lot of anger amongst drug dealers, in the same way as, you know, James Murdoch complains about the BBC. You'll get drug dealers saying it's very unfair on us. How are we supposed to make a living if heroin's just being given out free on the
I would love
stage?
to see them go on Watchdog and complain that. Well, I've been a small. I'm just a family business. My uncle brings it in his rectum, and then we all chop it up at home, and we're being put out of business by the NHS at the moment.
But what happens if you're on heroin, right? You're addicted to heroin. How long do you live? You just have heroin.
You actually... I don't think it's that... If you have, like, good heroin, you know...
You could just have heroin.
You could just have
forever.
heroin.
To be honest,
And live a lovely, long life, not mentioning heroin, on heroin.
Yeah.
Surely the answer... I've got the answer. Surely the answer is...
If you're manufacturing enough heroin, you know, you get cheaper to manufacture it. We all need lots of things all the time, like water and food. Let's just add heroin to that. Get everyone on heroin at an early stage, so then the addiction problem goes away.
I can see a problem with your plan, though, because 95% of the world's heroin comes from Afghanistan.
Yeah.
So
Well, it would explain. It would be a good reason for invading the fucking place.
We can't put it on the whole population. You want to kind of get like Pavlov's cat and give Pavlov's cat heroin every day. And if you offer it heroin, see if it comes to have a fix every day.
Don't give it to cats. Don't waste it on cats.
Oh, no, that's quite good fun.
Cats have a pretty sweet existence at the best of times, right? It's all just sofa, we give them food, and then they run off and disappear for 8 hours and do something. And then they come back for more food and sofa. I'm not sharing my heroin with them as well. I'm not having the cat scratching at the door and finding a little vein and looking over me. You know? I'm already sleeping for most of the day. I'd like to do it with a kind of Richter's grin in my face, like I'm in ecstasy all the time. No, get it. And while they're at it, stay out of my coke. All right? I've seen it. I've seen it on your little whiskers, the little bits of white. I've seen it there. You've looked up nervously, fidgeting. Meow, 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 meow. Like meowing with confidence. Get away from my drugs. All right.
So, David, with your plan about everyone gets heroin, would we be able to, shoot up in the pub, or do we have to go and stand outside to do that?
Oh, you can't smoke in a public. You can hardly shoot up. That'd be rude. The smokers outside looking in while you're going, well, you picked the wrong one there. Sorry about that. I'm fine.
But you'd probably be able...
Meow!
Yeah,
you want more?
Apparently, farmers are using a lot of heroin, but getting the evidence is like looking for...
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Ben and Andy. Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. I caught ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear at a party conference.
Blackpool's nice, isn't it?
Unlike other party leaders I could mention, I am not a slave to the auto cue. Smile, pause, applause.
would you please welcome the man who's made the Conservatives an electable force again, Gordon Brown!
I'm going to turn my back for 1 minute, and I want whoever stole David Blunkett's dog to put it back.
The delegates were so impressed by Ming Campbell's speech that they gave him a 10-minute standing cremation.
Kiss the baby. No, I'd better not. It might set my tag off.
Well, I must say, on this issue, I'm with Al-Qaeda.
So, for Scottish independence and cheaper parking, vote S, NCP.
In an attempt to be more like Barack Obama, Gordon Brown has sensationally blacked up.
And I do believe we are the only party who are going to do anything about the amount of unemployed dwarves in this country. In fact, I saw one just outside holding a sign that said, "No job, too small."
We're going to open this BNP conference with a prayer, so if you'd all like to turn towards Mecca.
OK. The next topic is unlikely things to hear on a history documentary.
Now follows a documentary about the Queen Mother, which contains nudity and strong language from the start.
And it was here, at this exact spot that faced with 30,000 baying Frenchmen, that Henry V shat himself.
On the first day of the Battle of the Somme, over 60,000 documentaries were commissioned.
I was in the parachute regiment. I was dropped over occupied territory. 4,000 feet, 3,000, 2,000. I pulled the cord. My cagoule tightened.
Two World Wars and one World Cup. Doodah.
And it was actually here, in this very tower, that the princes were slaughtered. William on Red Bull and vodka and...
1547. Nostradamus predicts the rock group the Kaiser Chiefs. He also predicts a riot.
On one side of battle stood William of Orange. On the other side, Charles of O2 and Richard of Vodafone.
The final outcome of the Second World War has changed the world forever. So, if you don't want to know the result, look away now.
Next, Eva Braun, the inventor of the lady shave.
So it was my job to assassinate Himmler. So I stood behind the tree and waited for his car to come round the corner. Then I leapt out and I said, "Boo!" Sometimes all we had was the element of surprise.
Napoleon was imprisoned in St Helena, which was extremely uncomfortable for her. Her head was pointed, and he never took his boots off.
The Loch Ness Monster. Fact or fiction? Fiction. Good night.
Of course, during the war, I was brought up in Dorset. None of us expected the surprise Japanese attack on Poole Harbour.
At the end of that round, the points go to David, Hugh and Milton. That's the end of the show and the end of the series. This week's winners are Hugh, Dennis, Milton Jones and David Mitchell. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Ben Norris and Russell Howard. We'll see you again soon, but thanks for watching. I'm Dara Green. Good night.
And Russell Howard's got a brand new show. Watch out for good news coming soon to BBC Three. And if you turn over now, ice pop selling for Asif in Lunch Monkeys. Here on BBC Two, stay with us for Newsnight next.
Read all about it.
Dara O'Brien, happy Christmas and welcome to a special festive edition of Mock the Week. We'll be talking about the holidays as well as looking back at some of our favourite moments from the last series, along with bonus bits we've never shown before. Hope you enjoyed them. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Fred, which category would you like?
World news, please, Dara.
OK, your category is world news. The answer is 1/5. What's the question?
Is this what fraction of the Jackson 5 might miss the Christmas party?
Is it how much of the weekend can Andrew Flintoff remember?
Is it how much of French and Saunders is Saunders?
What proportion of Enid Blyton's The Famous Five can lick their own testicles?
Is it England's only dwarf king was called Henry the what?
How much of a Boris Johnson speech is not, well, I
say, Is it how does Jamie Oliver pronounce one fish?
Is it how much of Wikipedia is true?
I'll tell you, on that... Actually, I won't mention that on telly.
What does it say about you?
Go on, what does it say about you?
No, go on.
It says, somebody's written, I was once kicked out of a zoo for punching a monkey, and then somebody underneath has put correction, he spanked the monkey.
That's hard.
I didn't do either.
In my bit on a trivia about me, it says I once aided the RSPCA in saving a goose from a tile shop. I don't remember the event. It's incredibly specific.
What's the point of Wikipedia if people just write it themselves? I think every Wikipedia entry should have to start with "I reckon."
Probably.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Somebody else.
I've
I've just remembered another. This is a creepy thing that somebody put on my Wikipedia. They said of me, he looks like the kind of straight bloke that would be quite good at gay sex. I'll be honest, when I read that, I did go, get in. But he went on to say, but he looks like he'd cry afterwards. So there's part of me now that wants to find a gay man to test the theory. So if there's any out there, bring it.
I suspect there will be a few out there.
Yeah.
Probably about 1/5.
There you go.
What honour was the actor Nicolas Cage given this year?
Oh, Nicolas Cage, right? He's actually going to be able to turn the Christmas lights on in Bath.
This, by the way, aren't the lights in Bath. This is...
Apparently, what happened
Those
was...
are the lights in Dundee.
Somebody actually put a note through his door. He's got a house in Bath, and he's agreed to turn on the lights. I put a note through Cheryl Cole's door, and apparently that's a matter for the police.
Do you know what's really weird about this story?
Not only is it incredible that they've got Nicolas Cage to do it, but also there must have been an incredibly uneasy phone call to Barry Chuckle. Sorry, Barry, Nicolas Cage is doing it. Maybe they gave him a part in an action movie where he knocks out Vin Diesel by turning round quickly with a plank.
Do you know what's really awkward about this story? This is genuinely true. Until last week, I was doing it.
Really?
I was there. Yeah. And then from nowhere, Cage has just jumped. It's funny. All my relatives like, do you want us to sort him out? No, I don't want you to sort him out. Because we'll go around there and mess him up. Don't mess him up.
Because you were originally up for the part in Face Off as well, weren't you?
And what's really funny about it is the lady that posted the letter through the door is the exact lady that went, oh, we'd love you to do it. You'd be great. And then I read in the paper without even telling me, the big Nicholas, you bitch.
About 10 years ago, I switched on the Christmas lights in Kidderminster.
Wow!
And because I've been rude.
There are Christmas lights in Kidderminster.
Yeah,
Were you asked to do this?
Yeah, because we've been
We hit Bruce Willis!
We've been rude about Kidderminster on television. Got a letter from the Kidderminster Tourist Board or whatever saying, would you come and switch on the Christmas lights? So you think, oh, that'd be great, I'd love to do that. But you don't actually do it. Because what they do is they give you one of those enormous pretend switches right? And you have to kind of go like this on a balcony to a crowd below, and you kind of go, oh, I'm going to press the thing now. And you press it, and as you press it, a bloke in a room behind turns on a switch. So you're not doing it.
So hang on a minute, so that bloke's going to be me. I'm going to be the
Right. So you were asked to do it because you were rude about
Because I was
Kidderminster.
rude about Kidderminster. I also did a joke once about Wolverhampton and got invited on a tour of Wolverhampton.
I'm thinking bigger than that. If I slag off Jessica Alba, do I get a tour of Jessica Alba?
Well, apparently Bristol wanted to have Bruce Willis switching on their lights, but then they remembered that he tends to get into a lot of trouble around Christmas time.
Our next round is called Newsreel, replaying a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask Hugh to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features Gordon Brown.
Hello, happy Christmas, everybody. Just making sure everything's ready for the event tonight. Where am I sitting? That's it. Just here. No decorations, I see. That's good. I'm Scottish. I don't do joy. So, sitting in the middle here. That's right. Right next to the President of the United States. He's specially requested he sit next to me. So, when a barber comes in, if you could just make sure that he sits in that chair. Super glue him if you have to. That's good. What the hell is going on? I was meant to be sitting next to President Obama. I come in, somebody switched all the nameplates on, and now he's sitting next to that great, fat Scottish guy with a hairy arse. It's completely unbelievable. Testing. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. What? Anybody know what number comes next? No wonder the economy's in shite. So,
what would you like from the menu? I have 1,000 burritos, 3,000 nachos, and a pint of Tamiflu, please. Thank you.
So, let's get on with the main event. Let's get on with the first round of this, the annual G20 Leaders Christmas Quiz. Question set by Great Britain. In front of you should find a picture round and an anagram round. But to get things going, we'll do world news. So, on Boxing Day 1994, who did Raith Rovers beat? 3 goals to 2 at Starks Park. So, 3 goals to 2, Starks Park. Nice. Easy one to start them off there. In the meantime, I think I'll just have a quick look round, see if anybody's written any more interesting speeches than I have. I think practically everybody. So, that's unbelievable. I just get off for a piss. I'm Gordon Brown, he's nicked my bloody seat again. I don't know what's going on. Good news. I've just told Manchester City to bid 300 million for Bobby Charlton.
Yes, Mr. Putin, he did what? They voted for Norway in Eurovision. Leave it with me. Kill him.
Hey, Obama, when you come to Australia, don't think you're going to play with my didgeridoo.
So, go on, Brian. Tell him the joke. Go on, he would love to hear a joke. He loves jokes. Okay, Obama, come here. Yes, you're lovely. I got this from a Christmas cracker. What happens when you eat Christmas decorations? Huh? You get tinselitis.
I can't believe it. He nicked my bloody chair. I was sitting there, he just come on, he nicked my bloody chair. It's unbelievable.
So that's the first round done. Now to the second round. This should be slightly easier. Economic news. Which Scotsman was single-handedly responsible for saving the world economic system? So, which Scotsman saved the world economic? Nice, easy question there. I think we'll get full marks for that one. Nice. Incidentally, Barack, I don't know what you're doing at Christmas, but you're quite welcome to join us at Oxford Boxley. We'll be doing charades, drinking lots of whiskey, and best of all, I'll be there. So.
Oh my God, I'm so tired. I think I left Carla chained to the bed. I have to go and get her.
What am I doing in this footage?
So, Gordon Brown, what a great guy. Yeah, he's a great guy. That's my bit done. Could you get me out of here? Gordon is so dull. It says on this bit of paper I'm meant to be sitting next to an Indonesian guy. What happened to him? So that's the end of round 2. Now we come on to the famous picture round. In front of you, you'll find pictures of 8 Scottish Episcopalian cathedrals. I'd like you to put those in the correct geographical order, north to south. In the meantime, I'm going to go through the rounds, the scores of the previous round, and some very funny team names you've come up with, of course. Putin's Polonium, currently on 2 points. Sarkozy, so easy, on 5. Nicolas normally likes to score more than that. Leading at the moment with 10, Great Britain and their team, Gordon must go. But to leave you, I'm going to tell you a Christmas joke. Why did Santa have to close his toy factory? Elf and safety. That's yeah. Oh, God.
Back at home, what has the Tory-controlled council in Barnet announced recently?
Oh, yes. Basically, that Barnet Council have said that they want to try and streamline their services like a budget airline. And you think, well, that's a stupid idea, isn't it? Because let's face it, budget airlines most people regard as crap. You can basically go on Ryanair now, you're supposed to have to pay £1, aren't you, for the toilet? And you're thinking often you've only spent £1 for the actual flight itself. You'll be there having a dump thinking, this better be a good one. I could have got a return ticket for this.
You've sort of been weighing it up, won't you? Going, is this one worth £1? To be honest, this feels like it's going to do 20 quid's worth of damage. Let's go. The Tories, for being a market party, have never understood the market. So they think if something's successful and sells well, people love it. You know, they tolerate things. You know, I shit 3 times a day. I don't love it.
And we all have it. You know that's too many. That's too often.
I've been to Barnet. Of all the places, like, if you're going to do a no-frills government, at least do it somewhere that had frills in the first place. I mean, taking frills out of Barnet is like taking the charisma out of Milton Keynes.
I agree. I grew up in
Barnet. Council has frills, did he?
No.
I mean, street cleaning in Glasgow involves sprinkling gravy granules in front of a homeless guy on a leash.
Of all weeks, this week where there's been a bank holiday in England would be a very good week, because I would imagine up and down the streets of England there have been millions and millions of bins left out for 24 hours because people forgot, because it was a bank holiday, that the bins would be collected a day later. I don't know if you drove to any street at night, there are loads of bins out that people forgot, because we're stupid, and frankly we pay money so that you'll do it, so that I don't have to worry about that, and the bin fairies will come along and make the rubbish go away.
Can I check something? Are you only supposed to put your bins out, what, on a certain day or something?
Yeah, that is the way it works. You're not supposed to leave the bins out and after every meal walk out with a plate and just scoop them into the day.
Well, there you go, that's what a maverick I am. I'm having 3 shits a day and I'm putting my bins out whenever I want. Nobody stop me.
And have you noticed that, like, people in your street are getting more and more hostile with you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was my appearances on this.
You're probably quite charmed by that. But the fact that you just pile up household effluence.
What if the time that I'm supposed to put my bin out, I'm having one of my 3 long shits?
Where are you having long? It's not like a mail train where, like, you have to hold your bin out at exactly the right moment.
There's nothing in there that's of any use to anybody.
It's not the utility of your rubbish.
You two, simmer down.
Every night after we record this show, I have to go and do the fucking bins. Right? I go home and not only do I have to do the bins, I have to separate everything I've used into every component part. Hounslow Council have given me... It's just driving me up the wall, right? Do you know about it? They give me a bag. They give me a bag. Every 2 weeks, I have to fill a bag with garden waste. I have to go to parks and collect leaves and put it in the bag.
There's no reason you shouldn't put your bins out whatever day you like, because you're enormous. If I was you, I'd just pour everything out the top floor window, and when someone turned up to complain, I'd say, yeah, what about it? I look like I was created in a science accident.
Why was it difficult to buy Christmas cards this year? Don't do this. Don't do this. This is topical, hot topical for now, mid-December. It's very exciting that we discuss this topic right now.
Did someone not leave a note in a shop?
You're absolutely right. I'm going to ask a question. So why was it difficult to buy Christmas cards this year?
Because Santa's turned really evil, Dara.
No, it's not because Santa's turned really evil.
Well, you say that, but he's turned sensual. He's become the sensual Santa.
No, genuinely, go on. Why? So what?
It's because Santa's been behaving like
an arse. It's nothing to do with Santa. It's nothing to do with Santa.
Well, this is to do with Christmas. From the top up, he's sensual, he's got the oils.
There's no erotic Santa action here.
If I was an old man with a beard and I looked a little bit like Santa, come Christmas time, I'd just be walking around shops going, here, you've been a naughty boy. Obviously to kids, not to men.
Yeah, that was a bit wrong.
Kids doesn't make
you said it to me and I got slightly scared.
My favourite thing about Christmas, though, has to be the parlour games that you play. We always play a game in our house. We play Celebrity, you know, the thing where you put the names of... Everyone writes the names of those celebrities and you put them in a bowl and you got to pull them out and you got to describe them to your team. You know what I'm talking about? And we were playing that once in our house one Christmas, and my auntie pulled out Steve Jobs, the head of Apple, which gives you a window into what my family are like, that Steve Jobs, the head of Apple, is considered a celebrity. And she didn't know who Steve Jobs was because she's only married into the family. She's not as big a nerd as the rest of us. And so she says, first name is the McQueen, who was in The Great Escape. So we all go, Steve. And then she goes, the surname is... And she points at her husband, my uncle, who was made redundant in the recession. And when his surname is, you've not got one of these anymore. Which, funny in itself, as funny as that was, what was even funnier was my ma, who was right at the end of the row, and the angle she was at, thought that my auntie was pointing at my dad. And my ma went, Steve Prostate? That pretty much did us for the rest of the night, that is.
Our next round is a festive Between the Lines and features Hugh and Russell. Would you make your way to the press pit, please? Russell delivers a speech in the guise of a lead. The cushion. That was your cushion, wasn't it, that you nicked? Yeah.
Oh, that was really horrible.
By contrast...
Touch your cramp.
Oh, madness occurs in the compilation.
It's Christmas. We're having a laugh at Christmas.
Oh, gasp. Oh, I hope you're having a good Christmas.
Watching this, you loser.
Look at them whenever you do, to do right. We're having a laugh. I hope you are too. I'm here with my loved ones. Maybe you are too. The next round is Between the Lines. It features Hugh and Russell. Would you make your way to the press pit, please? Russell delivers a speech in the guise of a leading figure in the world stage, while you, his name isn't you. You, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I can't believe you flinched then. I wasn't going to hurt you.
You could have. Hugh and Russell, would you make your way to the press pit, please? Russell delivers a speech in the guise of a leading figure in the world stage, while Hugh translates what they really mean. This week, Russell is Prince Charles.
My loyal subjects.
I know. One can dream.
My mother asked me to give the Christmas speech this year.
I think that's what she said, but the pillow was muffling her voice.
I'm going to talk about the things that really matter to the British people.
Architecture, polo, and cars that run on cheese.
Season's greetings from Sandringham. The royal family always feel at home in Norfolk.
We're poorly educated inbreds who enjoy torturing animals.
Yesterday we played golf all afternoon. Andrew shot 2 birdies and an albatross.
And my father shot a fox, 2 dogs, and a teenage criminal from King's Lynn.
I've come up with an exciting new initiative.
These aren't just biscuits. These are Dutchy original biscuits.
Speaking of which, we still need to work on our ginger nuts.
Prince Harry, as we call him.
It's really wonderful to see... Sorry, wrong voice. Merry Christmas.
Is that your Nick Griffin impression?
It's really wonderful to see the kind of man William has grown into.
A toothy, bald man.
Wills has the charisma, charm, and media skills that made his mother an icon.
And Harry has the personality, courage, and ginger hair that made his father a major in the British Army.
My father is 89, and I can assure you his health is as rude as ever.
Only this morning he said, "Merry Christmas, you jug-eared tit."
Well done, Hugh and Russell. In other news, who's in line for Christmas number 1?
This is the Pope.
It
the
is the
Pope
Pope.
is going to be releasing a record.
Somebody from Geffen Records, who are his record company, said the Pope has got almost a lullaby tone to the way he sings.
Schlieffen, Kinder! Schlieffen!
Schlieffen! Oh, the Santa Claus, Nick's coming! Schlieffen!
The thing is, it's going to be a very popular record, though, isn't it? It's not just going to be Christians who are going to want to buy it. Everybody is going to want to buy it, because those who aren't Christians are going to want to play it backwards to see if there's a different message inside.
Wouldn't that be great? Just meet me by the bins, meet me by the bins, yeah. Meet me by the bins, meet me by the bins. Oh, meet me by the bins. I'm buying it.
I think you should record that. That's actually quite good.
In fact, let's do that. Let's rival him. Let's do a Mock the Week Christmas song and see if we can't get it to number 1.
And will the lyrics have to be meet me by the bins, meet me by the bins, meet me by the bins?
We can put that in the middle.
Guys, what are we doing making a Christmas album when we could clean up with a calendar? October! Is that Darryl loading hay bales in October? What is going on? Oh my God!
You don't
what are you doing?
Don't give up the nipple.
No.
You don't show the nipple. That's the juice. You got to hold that back.
I'll let you in a secret. I've got 2.
God, this is the happiest Christmas ever.
You have no idea how often we see these.
Scaramanga is amongst us.
Yeah. How fat were your nipples? They're incredible. The size of them.
My nipples are...
Are we supposed to be insecure about our nipples now?
What fingers you're looking at? Oh, do it some more. Anti-clockwise, anti-clockwise. Oh, yeah.
We're giving you 1 month just as a bit of a teaser here, and the other ones you have to buy, I'm afraid. We're kind of getting you addicted to the heroin with his nipples, and then we're withholding the gravy from there on in. Yeah. Well, where will you be? Will you be, like, sitting behind a piano or something? Or maybe, what?
I'll be on top of the piano like the Fabulous Baker Boys.
Where will you be, Dara?
That's what you call your testicles?
I see Dara as a sort of a farm hand. Just logs everyone,
Rustic.
just loads of girls going...
Yeah.
Or it could be very artistic. It could be like Munch's The Scream, and it's just you completely naked.
Yeah. I like this album.
Thank you very, very much. In a kind of is that my cock out? Oh! Here, on a bridge in Norway.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way to the performance area, please. I caught ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and performers came with their suggestions. Okay, here we go. The first subject is rejected questions from this year's exams.
What colour does a Smurf go when we choke it?
Translate the following into German. 2 World Wars and 1 World Cup. Doodah, doodah.
How many pepperami big boys could you feed to Victoria Beckham through a tube before she became visible to the human eye?
What is the name of the force that pulls objects towards the centre of the Earth? Is it A, gravity, or B, magic?
Katie Price is supposedly worth £8.5 million and has got a thriving TV career. Explain.
If George Michael leaves at 8 o'clock for a 5-mile drive, when does he crash?
There are 6 lines of equal length. How long will Kerry Katona be in the bathroom?
If a train is going at 70 miles per hour, how surprised would you be?
What is amnesia? Is it A, memory loss, A, memory loss, or 4, the Battle of Hastings?
If Sally buys 3 oranges and 2 apples, how far south of Scotland is she?
Discuss the idea that Willy Wonka was a paedophile.
What is amnesia? Is it A, memory loss?
Draw a diagram of the male genitalia. Please use the tracing paper provided.
What are most Canadians renowned for saying? A,
English. Is standards declining?
Hitler, Pol Pot, Genghis Khan. Shag, marry or kill.
There's a wedding where Jane invites 20 guests and her partner Helen invites 40 guests. How angry is God?
The next topic is unlikely things to hear at Christmas.
In the current financial market, a dog is not just for Christmas, it's for Christmas dinner.
Dear Santa, thank you very much for my Super Soaker 500. I'm now the best armed British soldier in Afghanistan.
Bad news, I'm afraid. Santa didn't realise it was an eco house and he's been sliced to pieces by the wind turbine.
Have you been a naughty boy this year, Tommy? Would you like to be? I've got money.
Well, it seems ironic, really, doesn't it? We buy a non-drop Christmas tree and then this happens to Grandad.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me chlamydia.
A grain of rice for Christmas. Thanks. Thanks, Uncle Ben.
Now we are all familiar with Grandma's charade of Basic Instinct. Shall we turn the TV back on?
Why is your nose so red, Rudolph? Because I'm an alcoholic.
You'd have thought the retail sector would have found some way to monetise this festival.
Baby Jack, we didn't know whether to get you a toy or a pet, so we've compromised and bought you a rattlesnake.
Hey, great! New socks! I'm off for a wank!
I remember when I stopped believing in Father Christmas. The year he abused me.
Mum! I was hiding in a sock and Andy did something weird.
Daddy, I ripped up one of my presents too quickly, and it was a puppy.
I discovered last night that your father has been having an affair. One of the chipolatas might taste a little bit strange.
Last night, Santa emptied his sack in our room. Which is why I'm leaving your mother.
This Christmas, I've decided to keep my Christmas broadcast short and sweet. Piss off.
Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Darby. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Mark Watson and Russell Howard, Patrick Kilty, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of Leader of the Opposition, David Cameron. But what does TLEC stand for?
Is it Tories launch exfoliating cream?
Where would you put it? Or is it the Top Man launch Eton collection?
Or is it just simply Tosser leading everyone to catastrophe?
Are you not a natural Tory?
Or is it Tory launch extremely Caucasian?
I think the people he's shaking hands with are that actual size, and it's tiny little elf convention.
The elf vote is just screaming to me.
It's enormous.
It is ironically, it's an enormous vote.
Is it tits, lips, eyes and chin? Everything he's got done in the poster.
Is it his full name? Tarquin Linus Edwin Cameron.
What's weird about it is, and this isn't nothing to do with the initial, he appears to be in black and white at the front of the photo and in colour at the back.
It's like the Wizard of Oz. He's like in black and white until the election, whereupon... the King of Munchkinland.
I know the answer. It's Tory leader effortlessly camp.
Do they have anyone give it something approaching the correct answer?
I think
You're the sensible one.
Tories launch election campaign.
That's close enough.
Genius.
Well done. That's good. Yes, the answer I was looking for was Tories launch election campaign. It's election time again, with David Cameron saying this year's vote could not come soon enough. Although the date is as yet to be confirmed by the Prime Minister, the Conservatives have begun announcing their policies in a bid to woo voters and regain power. So how do they launch the campaign?
Well, mainly by putting up a big poster of his face.
Yes.
Where he's wearing so much makeup, he might as well just say, Tory, because you're worth it.
It is astonishing. It is. I just think they should have run... It's like on 760 poster sites. They should have just run this poster instead. Look at my big, shiny face. Look at it. Look at it. Look at the way look at the way my forehead glow follows you around the room.
He looks like a cross between David Dickinson and Pingu.
A cross that we've all been waiting a long time to see.
To be honest, that penguin vote, no one's gone after that before. If he did all of his things by waddling around.
If they ever did that, they would close down CBeebies, wouldn't they? What are you doing, Dickinson? Leave him alone.
Take it, you little bastard. Take it.
I can't waddle away quick enough.
How much do you have to love yourself, to launch your campaign with no policies and just a big picture of your own face? We kind of now know what both leaders are going to say to us. Gordon Brown's going to say, don't trust the Tories, they'll put up taxes. And basically David Cameron saying, don't you wish your girlfriend was
What you have to remember is that Cameron was in PR. I was 12 years old when I had a paper round.
I'm very... It's a poster. He's trying to sell it. He's trying to sell it on the NHS, isn't he? That's the image he's got. It's all about the NHS. And now I'm slightly worried that Gordon Brown is going to have a poster about health as well, with a big picture of Gordon Brown, and then next to it, catch it, kill it, bin it.
I not only have issues with the big shiny face, I also have problems with the slogan. Because every time I see that, we can't go on like this, in my brain a bit of it goes, with suspicious mind.
It's also, you just get the impression that he's very nicely, hey, I'm Dave, come on, yeah, whatever. And then as soon as he wins, Thatcher's just going to regenerate.
So send me to Wales! I'm going to finish what I started.
Does he not look a bit like a hypnotist to you?
Yeah. The more we have this picture up, the more I'm becoming convinced we can't go on like this. Somebody must cut the deficit, not the NHS. Who can do such a thing?
I think, though, that it should actually say, I can make you thin.
Well, his eyes are shinier and his hair's sleeker, but it's not necessarily an airbrush. It could be he's eating pedigree chum.
I mean, his coat is more glossy. essential minerals. They're good. So you should see him running through a field and over a wall. It's incredible, man. He's youthful and dynamic.
Although sometimes he just rubs himself on the carpet at the House of Commons.
That would be very funny if there was, like, you know, and we're cutting to the Prime Minister's question time and he's just dragging himself. Sorry about this. I really have to get to a vet at some stage.
But I wonder, you know, all this still trying to woo the middle classes. Are the middle classes that angry? I haven't seen the middle class demonstrations, you know. What do we want? A Volvo estate. When do we want it? After the holiday in Tuscany.
Sorry, Hugh, a moth just died. Sorry, it's just one piece of confetti came down. A very, very cheap wedding is taking place.
It's a note from Frankie.
Hurry up.
It says, will somebody make a quip about Kerry Katona's vagina? In time, brave
Those days are gone. Kerry Katona's going, oh, I finally felt I could watch it. In other news, what's going on here?
Oh. Frozen Britain.
That's Frozen Britain.
That, I believe, is a very tall man has taken that with a camera.
This is the enormous news story that because it's the winter, it's a bit cold.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing. For 2 weeks, all the news has been, tonight, still cold.
What I love about it, though...
Really? Well, I didn't realise.
But what's hilarious, but they insist on putting the weathermen in the snow.
I know.
It's really cold, we can see that. It's really cold.
Yeah.
They never, when it's hot, they don't put Michael Fish in a mankini. It doesn't...
I always say that, don't they? It's difficult to tell whether it's going to fall as snow or rain.
Yeah.
And surely the clue is in the temperature.
Yeah.
If it's -1, you're thinking, well, go for snow. That'd be my guess.
Yeah. If it's white, it's snow, basically.
Technically not true, actually. Sorry, being the
There he
dullest man
goes.
in the world. I'm afraid I did a geography degree. It has to be above freezing to snow.
Otherwise it falls asleep.
Yeah, it doesn't. If it's below freezing, it won't be snow.
KFC were very helpful. In all the meals that they had, they put in a little sachet of salt. Shake on the ground.
The lack of salt was such a Daily Mail reader's wet dream, wasn't it? There's no salt! There's no salt! Do you know what? They've spent it all like Muslims teaching them yoga. I can't get out my drive, but Osama bin Laden could do the lotus.
It is sad. There is a kind of a, you know, the transient nature of life, though, about the snow, because when it arrives and it's all stunning, gorgeous, and it makes that lovely crunchy noise, and it slowly recedes into horror, and it's just like a one-night stand that she never leaves.
Did you not feel, in the snow there, did you not actually genuinely feel a little bit sorry for 4x4 drivers? In that, for the first time, they could justify using them on the school run, and then they closed the school.
I live in Chelsea, and a lot.
Good Lord!
It's not that good. Whenever I went to introduce myself to the neighbours, they thought I was giving them a quote for tarmac, and it's not really. It's not that glamorous. And I said to them, you know, when they couldn't get their 4x4s, like, well, why don't you let your kids walk to school? And they said, well, it's pretty clear you don't have kids, because if you did, then you'd leave them to the school gate in order for them to be safe. I said, well, when I have kids, I'm going to send them to a Catholic school where they'll be in the care of Roman Catholic priests from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. The walk to school will be the safest part of their day.
What I loved about the snow as well is that for that week when it really tipped it down, the entire nation was like a carry-on film, wasn't it? I've had 8 inches in my driveway. My back passage is all wet. And then even the Transport Secretary, his name's Lord Adonis. That's not a name. That's the make of a posh dildo.
The worst job I ever had was forensic pathologist for the United Nations. And I remember uncovering the mass grave of 1,000 snowmen. Fortunately, it turned out to be a field full of carrots.
What's great about it? But it's like Milton, every so often, it's like this hilarious granddad that just wakes up.
I did notice when a lot of people start off driving without finally clearing all of their windscreens.
It's fun,
and they try and find a little bit that they can actually have a look at. I saw one bloke driving on the motorway, right? He was craned like this. He had his window open. He was squirting de-icer on his windscreen at the same time. And on the back of his vehicle, it said, "How am I driving?"
Again, round the points go to Russell, Mark and Andy. Now we play a round called Mock You, I Won't Do What You Tell Me. This game involves Milton, Mark, Patrick and Russell, so if you could make your way over to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, here we go. Our first topic, please. And it's travel. Who wants to come in on that? Mark.
I think the thing with travelling is it's often quite hard to make yourself understood. I was in South Africa recently, and the way they talk there, that's not even the joke yet. I literally went to South Africa. All their vowels sound the same. So a word like cigarettes, it sounds like secrets. I was there. This guy was going, "Give me one of your secrets. Can I have one of your secrets?" Like, well, I once masturbated in a library. But in a way, I do at least prefer it when it's me travelling. I get very nervous when people I know and love are travelling, like my wife. My wife is always in planes and stuff. I get very nervous in case something happens to her. I've even resorted to checking, you can track the flight on the website. So the other week, my wife was flying, and I was there following it on the website, and it says, in the air. I couldn't relax till it said, landed. Which I know, I'm not sure how reliable a guide it is, really. I can't imagine if there is a problem, they change it to crashed. Or turned into a fireball, frowny face.
Thank you very much, Mark. Well done. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is international relations. Patrick.
The world is a very dangerous place, and I think in order to bring more peace and to prevent war, what we need to do is to cancel the United Nations and stand down all armies. What we should do is we should replace it. Every government should have to open a Facebook account. Because Barack Obama opened a Facebook account to run for president, and a year later, he won the Nobel Peace Prize. It would be great. If every government had a Facebook account, the world would be a much better place. America and North Korea are now friends. China likes this. Hezbollah has poked Israel. The people of Palestine have written on Israel's wall. Osama bin Laden has tagged you in an album. Jihad 2001. America and Pakistan have gone from in a relationship to it's complicated.
OK, that leaves us Milton and Russell. The next topic, please. And it's etiquette.
I'm quite a socially awkward bloke. Oh, thanks for laughing at just that. I saw a girl on a train recently, and she was eating a yoghurt, and for some reason my brain thought it would be a good idea to go, "You know, that's very good for thrush." Like, she'd suddenly go, "Oh, sit down, stranger." I can't help it. I drift in. Like, I was at a museum the other day. Everyone said, "Don't take photos," and I was taking a photo. A 9-year-old girl arrives, goes, "What are you doing?" "I'm taking a photo." She ran off. "I'm off to tell the man." Now, the last thing you want to be doing is chasing a 9-year-old girl across a museum going, "Don't tell the man, don't tell the man." Added to the fact that when you catch her, you've got to go, "I'll delete the photo." That doesn't look good.
Thank you very much, Russell. OK, Milton, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is health.
My sister's got hay fever. Now she's got diabetes, so I tried to cheer her up, you know, flowers, chocolates. About a month before he died, my grandfather, we covered his back with lard. After that, he went downhill very quickly. Recently had bird flu, but it's all relative, isn't it? You know, if I had rabies and you offered me bird flu, I'd bite your hand off. Last summer, I set up a clinic for colonic irrigation, but the hosepipe ban hit us hard. Very much for you.
I think the points have to go to Milton and Patrick. Give a round of applause. The next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Patrick, which category would you like?
Transport.
OK, transport it is. The answer is 35 seconds. What is the question?
Is it how long regular viewers to this show will take to turn over when they realise that I'm sitting in Frankie Boyle's seat?
I know the answer. What is a bad sexual nickname?
Is it what is the age of consent for a mayfly?
Is it, if you try and Google Tiananmen Square in China, how soon before you get a knock at the door?
Is it how long it takes Paul McCartney when watching Dancing on Ice to shout, "Trip, you bitch"?
I bought those shoes.
Shoe, yeah.
Is it due to the BBC cutbacks? What is the new name for Just a Minute?
Is it
one for the Radio 4 fan?
Very nice.
Is it the length of time between Peter Mandelson's heartbeats?
Is it how long you can watch TV for before someone goes, "Go compare"?
Is it how long does it take Jordan to get over a relationship?
The answer is this is going to be how long it will take for the new scanners to scan you.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Well done. Thank you very much, Russell. Yes, the question I was looking for was how long will it take passengers to be scanned through the new airport body scanners? This is the announcement of the controversial new security technology due to be introduced to airports around the UK. The process has already met with considerable opposition. Why are they controversial?
Because they'll see me naked, Dara.
Yeah, it's because we'll be able to see people's willies.
Yeah, that is essentially...
Or do you want to be blown up, or do you... Look, the people... Look, it's hilarious. People go, "Oh, my God, it'll attract perverts." Not unless you're into ghost porn.
Is that a man or a woman?
That's Casper.
That's...
Not only, though, are you naked, but you've got to do the Macarena at the same time.
But the public outrage about it is extraordinary, isn't it? It's as though that, you know, the papers seem to think that this machine has been programmed, so every time a woman goes through it, it goes, whoa. If it doesn't go beep, it just goes ding dong.
I mean, because you can see that. You can see where he's got a wallet, a belt, some change, a pen, and a weird thing across his chest, which I'd get that checked out, to be honest. A surgeon has lost something inside that man.
He also appears to have only 2 bones.
He's also weirdly taller from the back, which is... That's hard, isn't it?
You don't really want people looking at your wobbly bits, do you?
No.
There they are going, "Oh, this bloke's looking nervous as he comes through. Is it that he's carrying a bomb? No, it's a cold day, and he's a bit worried about the size of his knob."
They may open a region just before the thing, a kind of fluffy zone, where you can take a few moments and stave off the cold. Just prepare yourself.
Just like How long will it take before stag parties just start taking Viagra before they get to the airport? Just for the crack.
Is there not a serious point that that you've got to look at the ongoing war on terrorism and say, if we now have to show our genitals to a man in a box before we go on our holidays, I think they've won.
Well, you see, Darren...
Probably the bit where they've won.
You know, the thing is that human rights activists hate these new scanners, but, you know, on the flip side, women's magazines will love it. It'll be, "Get the airport body scanner body you deserve." And, you know, people are going to be so self-conscious, you're going to have to get Gok Wan out to Heathrow, giving people rounds of applause to get them through. It's like, "Come on, sister, you can do it."
I did get patted down one time I went to Heathrow, and you ding ding ding, and they're straight to the Diana Ross. They're straight to the on your arms, and it's quite robust actually. It's quite the frisk now. When I would, geez, that's a bit it's a bit hefty as a challenge. There, you're really making contact there. I said, and your man goes, it's for your own good. And I had a long discussion with him going, no. Generally, all of the security is for my own good. Yeah. But actually patting me down individually isn't for my... I know I'm not a terrorist. Right? It's not like you're going to pat me down and go, you've got a bomb strapped to you, and you go, I was wondering what that was. Because it was chafing me in the taxi, and I didn't feel like opening my shirt to find out.
The way to get them is just to play them at their own game. So when they pat you down, just act like you're really enjoying it. That really freaks them out, because normally people are nervous. Just sit there going, oh, God. Oh! Honestly, do it as loud as you can. And they stop patting you down pretty quickly.
The reason why all of this has been brought in is because the guy who tried to blow himself up on Christmas Day.
Yes.
And I went home to Ireland for Christmas, and it was worth it just to be there on Boxing Day for my mother to say, with no irony whatsoever, she said, just after the Christmas pudding, she said, I don't know, those Muslim terrorists, you'd think that at least take Christmas off.
That was what was funny, though. Nobody cared. That was the beauty, because it happened at Christmas. It was like, oh, yeah, and a plane, and he got, did it? Really? Brilliant. Oh, well. Oh, Uncle Buck's on. Nan's going to wake it.
They said that it was going to put people off flying. It didn't put me off flying as much as the story that happened in America just before that, which was the story of the two pilots who'd fallen asleep and missed the airport by an hour. And you're thinking, how can two pilots fall asleep? Who looked? One pilot maybe, but who looks at their co-pilot, sees them falling asleep, and thinks, yes, that's a good idea.
Well, they have to do something, because there are more and more suicide bombers. Well, more and more and less and less.
The thing about, I think his name was Umar Farouk Abdul Muttalab.
He was Chinese.
He was not only on a list, he was not only identified as a possible terror subject, his father had alerted the authorities to the danger that his son had been converted to jihadism. And the only reason apparently that is because his father is a former director of the First National Bank of Nigeria. And presumably when they got the email that said, I am a director of the First National Bank of Nigeria, I have some information which may be valuable to you there. They just deleted it.
Have you seen the latest thing that they're using in this country? Body language. We're having body language to check whether they're a terrorist, as if anyone's going to be walking along with a moustache going, ooh, ha, 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 ha. But apparently, this is it, man, right? If we do this... Is that a meerkat terrorist?
It's a meerkat terrorist, yeah, that's great. And then he plants the bomb and goes, simple.
Apparently, this means you're lying, this means you're nervous, and if you go like this, it means you've got a bomb up your arse.
They're going to point to the Patrick Ewing Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. Right, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear on Crime Watch.
But before we see tonight's crime, let's meet the judges.
Police say they are looking for a black man in his 20s, and that they always will be.
Do you recognise this man? Thought not. It's Nick Clegg.
They say criminals always return to the scene of a crime, which is why we've probably got so many Australians over here.
Coming up next week, we'll be trying to solve the murders of the people who phoned up giving information on criminals this week.
Today, we're looking at identity theft.
All the victims are deaf, dumb, or blind. These are senseless killings.
Baffled police are appealing for help. Do you know where Wally is?
So, if you're being interrogated by the police and they're recording the interview, just make sure that every so often you go, ow.
Tonight, the great train robbery. London to Glasgow, £235 return.
Tonight, we're looking for the man who keeps on burgling my home every time I present this programme.
I don't work with a crime watch. I'm your host, Ray Winston. Leave it, you slag!
Don't go camping in the countryside. We noticed that whenever the police find a body, it's always in a tent.
Hello, I'm Nick Ross, and tonight I'm asking, who stole my fucking job?
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to hear in a TV election debate.
The truth.
Labour, ready! Tories, ready! Bring on the wall!
I think of this studio as a second home, which is why I'm claiming expenses for it.
And the lines have closed. Gordon, it could be you. David, it could be you. Nick, it's not going to be you.
We in the Tory party are going to give the north of England a huge boost, and then all the people can come out and lick the chocolate off it.
If you're elected, you'll raise taxes. If your mum's elected, she will.
It's me who got you into this mess, and it's him that will get you out of it.
And at the end of that round, Gordon, you've scored no points.
I'm really very, very proud of my working class roots. When I was growing up, we only had an outside toilet. Eventually, we got enough money to buy a house.
Cheryl, tonight you're going to be mentoring the Lib Dems.
Let me know, Pick. What's your real name?
How will we shorten waiting lists? Simple. By letting the weak die.
Hello! I am the Messiah! And the Queen is a biscuit!
I am almost certain that was a floating voter.
Very good. The end of the round, the points go to Patrick, Hugh and Milton. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Patrick Kidsey, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. Commiserations to Russell Howard, Mark Watson and Andy Parsons. I'm Darwin. Thank you for watching. Good night.
More comedy to come on BBC Two. Ramsey Nesbitt's a happy man. He's back on the box after 10 years. Then we get to meet Bella Meets People in a brand new series at 10. A taster coming up.
welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, John Bishop and Russell Howard, Chris Addison, Hugh Dennis and Sarah Millican. We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of Prime Minister Gordon Brown in buoyant mood, but what does ROCB stand for?
Is it what he looks like when he smiles? Is it really old, creepy baby?
Is he just really desperate about his election chances now? He's only got one thing he can do, and he's going, right, OK, call Batman.
Is it ruined our country, bastard?
Is he just giving a weather forecast? Is it rain, occasional cloud, blizzards?
Is it row over Cameron's bedroom? He's already in there measuring up the curtains.
What are you doing? Do you think he's actually just found a way to solve the national debt? Is he going, rollover could be billions?
Is he going, there's a robin on the corner of the building?
It would be nice. It would be nice if he just got more distracted by wildlife. That would be quite sweet.
He's just trying to draw attention from the polls. No, there's a robin on the corner of the building.
It's a true premise. It's a true premise that your government's in chaos. Is that a chaffinch?
Is it what he's going to do on May the 6th? Is it going to be removals ordered, cab booked?
Would I be right in thinking the art was something to do with recession,
It would,
Dara?
yes, you would be right.
Is it recession over complete bullshit?
It is not that. You're halfway there, remarkably.
That was lovely, the unemployed people. That's it, yeah. We live in Poundland.
Is it recession over confirms Brown?
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Well done.
He always does it like that.
Yes, the answer I was looking for was recession over confirms Brown. This is the Prime Minister's cautious announcement of the end of the recession, although he said there is still much more that needs to be done. The Office for National Statistics revealed that this week the economy had grown in the last 3 months of 2009 by 0.1%.
Great day.
Wow. Gee, I just started that. How long is that? I don't think we expected that. We just thought, like, we expected that. That's what we expected. But that is just like... It's difficult to maintain that.
It doesn't matter, but you look like a giddy chameleon. That was amazing.
Yeah, midway through the show, if a fly goes past. All right, how is Gordon Brown doing, and who is he trying to woo at the moment?
He's trying to woo the middle classes.
He is trying to woo the middle class.
These aren't policies, these are M&S policies, don't they? He's going to change his name from Brown to Autumn Blush.
He's the most unpopular Prime Minister this country's ever had, and yet nobody in the Cabinet thinks they can defeat him in a leadership election. How crap are they?
But what you're forgetting, I think, that we don't know what goes on in the Cabinet, and everyone's got to remember that he has got one eye that doesn't work, and perhaps he would do what I would do if I was him in the Cabinet. I'd wear an eye patch. I'd sit there with an eye patch on, and I'd have a white cat.
There is a theory that Brown would put over the wrong eye. There's also another thing that no one's going to run against Brown at the moment because what's the prize? You get to lead Labour into an election they'll probably lose. It's like going, oh my God, we've hit an iceberg. Can I drive the ship for a while? Can I?
It's like whatever is thrown at him, he still sort of gets up again. You half expect, like, Brian Blessed to just pop up every now and again and go, Gordon's alive.
He keeps on saying, I'm getting on with the job. He's like the Millwall of politicians. Nobody likes him, but he doesn't care.
But that's what I mean. He's one of those, he's having a go, and you think, well, that's all right, but you're running the country. It's like if somebody came in and said, look, I'm not a great surgeon, but I'll have a go.
know what? I work hard.
Basically,
Put the hours in.
I've thrown on a button, so I know I can finish the job. But getting to the stuff, I'm sure I'll recognise the kidney when I see it.
I've played the board game.
There's a photograph of him and Darling, actually, which was very interesting, because him and Darling at the same time the announcement. That, interestingly, is the £10 note that tipped us out of the recession.
But the reason why the economy's grown in the last 3 months is because we had Christmas, isn't it? And people, of course, spend money at Christmas.
Yeah, okay.
It's
Yeah,
the only time people go absolutely mad. You don't see anyone in July going, I need goose fat. You know?
Basically, though, Western capitalism, isn't it? It's based on people buying stuff they don't need with money they don't have, as opposed to Christmas time, when everybody buys things nobody needs with money they don't have for people they don't even like.
It's a beautiful miracle. It doesn't mean, by the way, that everyone's... the recession being over merely means we've ended the phase of becoming poor. Now we just get to enjoy being poor.
We've still got the same system. We're going back into the same system with the same people running it. It's the same bankers who are rubbish. We thought they could run banks. Turns out they can't. Nick Leeson, we thought he was a... Remember him? We thought he was a one-off. Turns out he was a sort of John the Baptist figure. Ushering in a generation of knobheads running our banks to the ground. And it's the same people who are still in charge.
People are still short of cash, aren't they? Which is why people are being encouraged to get all their gold and send it through the post. How stupid have you got to be? You wouldn't even put a tenner in a birthday card these days, and yet some people are getting some of their most valuable jewellery and putting it in an envelope marked something like "Cash my gold."
At some point, their partner, the people go, why did you do that? And I said, there was an ad on the telly.
Adverts are powerful things, Dara. I dressed a meerkat up. Money.
I ask a serious economic question. What have we been buying that has helped us out of this? Pies. Yes, pies.
We've been eating buying comfort food, haven't we?
Yeah.
Pie, loads and loads of pies. Pie buying is at a 30-year high.
16% higher than it was.
That is a nightmare for nutritionists, isn't it? All those healthy eating arguments gone out the way. Are you eating your 5 a day? Yeah, I had steak and kidney.
I think it must only be in the south, because, you know, if we ate more pies in the north than we do already, they'd have to invent, like, a breakfast pie.
We've also got a little bit cosmopolitan as well. I was at my mum and dad's because I've been gigging in Liverpool. I'll come downstairs for breakfast, and instead of having a normal breakfast, my dad was sat there with a croissant, because my mum's gone all continental. And he sat there with this croissant. I just looked at him, he looked at me, he went, yeah, I know. I said, what's your croissant like, Dad? He said, it's shit. He said, croissants are just empty pasties.
Actually, the other thing, pies have gone up, and lipstick, bizarrely.
Yeah.
In a weird double whammy, people are getting themselves fat, but slightly more attractive.
The economy's been propped up by obese, alcoholic chain smokers. We'll have to change smoking cigarettes. You know, smoking causes cancer, but it also stimulates economic growth.
See that school? I paid for that. I did it all. I was doing my bit.
I imagine the schooling paper doesn't have very good facilities for sport and whatnot.
Just helping, Dara.
Well, that's not a need. They're going to spend the money on a gym. I said, don't bother.
The government have been getting at fat people for years, and they've got us out of this recession, and they are our only chance if the Chinese do ever decide to jump up and down at the same time. As soon as we see that tidal wave coming up, you go, fat kids, boom, we send one back. All councils out around Chicago. Genius. Not one letter back from the Ministry of Defence.
There was a reference in the paper 2 weeks ago about why we've got so many obese children and why is it related to what we're doing in the recession and so on. And it came up to the conclusion we've got so many obese children because parents love the kids too much. And because they love the kids too much, they give them fast food because that's what they like. And then because we love our kids too much, we won't even let them walk to school in case somebody snatches them. And I've got to be honest with you, I've not spoken to many pedos, but I don't think they're into fat kids, you know. controversial, but I think let them walk to school every now and again. If they get chased, they might shed a few pounds.
At the end of that round, the points to the Russell, John and Andy. Now we play a round called Mock Up Your Daughters. This game involves Sarah, John, Chris and Andy, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a Wheel of News, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, here we go. Let's have our first topic, please. First topic is language. Who wants to come in with that? Chris.
Language, apparently, was developed by humans to help them during hunting. That's what people will tell you. I don't buy that. I think language is more likely to have developed spontaneously, probably between a cave couple who were just furious with each other, incandescent with rage, but completely incapable of expressing their emotion, just standing opposite each other in the cave mouth, going until something had to give. And one of them finally snapped and went, "You prick!" And they all went, "Oh, it's all coming out now, isn't it? Never clean this cave up. This place is a tip." "Well, why didn't you say something before?" "Well, I couldn't, could I?" "You're a pig, you are. My mother warned me about you." "Oh, really? How?" Bantu, the Bantu languages of the southern African peoples, they speak with a system of clicks and tuts, this kind of using the throat and the tongue and the... constantly surrounded by horses they've no need of. It's a nightmare for them. Bantu for go away horse is... they're screwed, really, isn't it?
Thank you very much, Chris. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is home life. Who wants to come in? Sarah.
My home life involves no children. I don't really like children. And if you ask, most of my female friends don't have kids. If you ask any woman who doesn't have kids what would worry them about having kids, the answer would always be childbirth. So from what I understand of childbirth, it changes you downstairs, doesn't it? It changes you downstairs. I quite like my downstairs the way it is, thanks very much. Certainly don't want an extension. But it's bound to change, though, isn't it? Because you're forcing a person out. That's what you're doing. You're forcing a person out. I've never forced a person out. I forced a couple in. But I was in a shop recently, and this little boy came running over to me, put his hand in mine and shouted, "Mammy!" And I thought, oh, sometimes forget me keys, but I think I'd remember that. And then his dad came over, and I thought, I wonder if this is the best chat-up line ever. And his dad's going to go, "No, no, that's not your mammy. Remember, your mammy left us because my willy's too big."
OK, that leaves us with Andy and John. The next topic, please. The topic is politics. Who wants to come in on that? Andy Parsons.
So we've had the Lib Dems announce their immigration plan. What they like to do is they like to put immigrants into places in Britain which don't, at the moment, have many immigrants. Quite what those parts of Britain will feel about that policy. I grew up for quite a long time in Cornwall, and there they regarded anybody who came from Devon as an immigrant. We had one bloke on our street who was known as the Traveller because he'd once been by train up to London. And we have a new president for Europe, a man by the name of Herman Van Rompuy. Now, the Sun can't wait to get a headline going on this one. Rumpy Pumpy, Rumpy Numpty, Humpty Rumpy. They'll go for gold if he gets involved in an affair with a one-legged ugly dwarf. Rumpy Pumpy from Rumpy Numpty with Frumpy Stumpy Grumpy.
Well done, Andy Parsons. OK, John, let's see what you've been left with. The topic is fitness.
I think as a country we all know that we're not as fit as we used to be. We still sell a lot of sports clothing, though. I'm from Liverpool. If you ever go to Liverpool and you look around at the number of people in tracksuits, you'll think you're in an Olympic village. The reality is you've only got to see the size of the tracksuits to know that you're not in an Olympic village. And the problem is when you invest in some sporting clothes, you feel you've got to do something with them. I bought a brand new pair of running shoes, a brand new pair of shoes that I thought I'll have to do something. One of my mates said, why don't you join us? A few of us are doing a 10K race. Never run a 10K before, and when you enter, you've got to put an estimated finish time. I didn't know what to put down. I phoned my mate Sam up. I said, what shall I put down? He said, oh, put 22 minutes. I thought that seems optimistic. I'll put 24 minutes. I sent the form in. I turned up on the day of the 10K race. I turned up with my mates. I was stood there with an orange number. All my mates had blue numbers. The steward came up to me. He said, what are you doing here? I said, well, I was thinking of running the race. He said, no, what are you doing back here with all the blue numbers? I said, why? He said, well, you're an orange number. I said, so what? He said, well, if you're an orange number, that means you're an elite athlete. He took me to the front. It was me and 3 Kenyans.
Good man, job. OK, in that round, the points go to Chris and Sarah. The next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the boards are 6 categories. Sarah, which category would you like?
Oh, entertainment, please, Darren.
OK, grand. Entertainment is the category. The answer is 1.84 billion. What is the question?
Is it how many different members of the Sugar Babes there'll be before they're actually any good?
Is it how old would Silvio Berlusconi look if you removed the clip at the back of his head?
It's positively Paleolithic, isn't it?
Is it what were the disappointingly low viewing figures for this week's China's Got Talent?
That's lovely. Is it the number of pointless things written on Twitter per day? I have eaten an apple. Well done, you.
Is it how many wombles are living wild in the sewers of London?
You're closer to a womble. You're closer to a womble than any given time in London.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah,
they were chased off the common by the Teletubbies. They've gone feral. And the wombles that you see are not indigenous British wombles. They're the American grey wombles.
Is it how much did Channel 4 offer Osama bin Laden to appear in Celebrity Big Brother?
I'm getting on very well with Vinny.
Yeah. Is it how many stamps Russell Brand has got in his STD clinic rewards card? If you get it all full, you get AIDS.
Is it if world's oldest man is 140, how old does his scrotum look?
That's very funny. How many times Madonna has phoned up Brad and Angelina this week asking what's happening to the kids?
OK, let's go towards the correct answer.
I know the answer. It's to do with Avatar, isn't it?
What is the record for the biggest-selling film of all time, which it's just overtaken, which was Titanic?
Yeah, that's actually... Yeah. More or less. The question I was looking for was, what is the figure in dollars that Avatar passed this week, overtaking Titanic to become the biggest grossing film of all time? The film took just 17 days to make $1 billion.
17 days?
17 days.
To make $1 billion?
To make $1 billion.
That's more than I earn in a year.
I haven't seen it, because frankly, I don't like the idea of it. It seems to me to be based on the Smurfs.
Now, are you basing that entire opinion on that photograph?
No, I think there are 2 or 3 things I'm worried about. One, it seems to be based on the Smurfs. Secondly, they seem to be getting some unobtainable mineral, don't they? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah.
Unobtainium.
Unobtainium is a bit lame.
It is genuine.
We're going to get some unobtainium. It's as rare as that'll be handium. And I wish we had a bit of thatium.
Is it what we in the UK? Is it what we in the UK would call road grit?
Rubbish, man. Everyone goes, oh, it's the ultimate cinema experience. It's not. Ultimate cinema experience, I watched The Sixth Sense. You know that, the moment, I see dead people. A bloke at the back of the cinema went, that's nothing, mate, I shagged them. That's the ultimate cinema experience. That would never be done.
I think it's impressive. It is impressive. It's not as difficult as they make out to create, you know, that whole blue population thing. I mean, in fact, it's relatively easy. There we go.
To be honest, Dara, that looks quite normal on you.
Yeah. And I actually don't look that... I look like I fit in, you know? I look like...
I look like Mr. Tumnus.
Well, for some reason, they've turned me ginger.
You look like Mr. Tumnus' security.
It's just advanced colouring in, isn't it?
That's exactly what it
It
is.
essentially is advanced colouring in,
Because
yeah.
James Cameron apparently has threatened that there'll be 2 sequels.
He has, yeah.
It just feels like that's how, you know, when serial killers sort of taunt the police. I will strike again. No.
That was the best thing about Titanic was the fact there couldn't be a sequel.
In other news, who has gobbled up Cadbury this week?
Kraft,
yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Kraft, whose only contribution to human progress so far is the invention of cheese that can also be used as a bookmark.
The guy who invented Kraft, I think it was like John Kraft or something, his original job where the company built itself, he was a door-to-door cheese salesman.
Well, actually...
If was someone from another era, would you ever trust, ding dong, would you like some cheese? No! A man walking door to door.
I can beat that. My mate, when he was younger, used to be a door-to-door karate salesman. Can he do karate? No, he can't.
That question there could have been answered so many... You could have asked that question any week. Who gobbled up Cadbury's this week? Obviously, this week it's Kraft. Most weeks it would be sad, lonely women at that sort of...
I'll tell you what, though...
Lonely. I'm not lonely.
And also... there is something...
Yeah, I'm genuinely worried about dairy milk, though, because I don't know why it's my one source of milk.
So what's of a dairy milk? Your bones would be nothing, you know?
On the news, they kept saying, they just kept saying that Cadbury's had been taken over by an American food giant. I was thinking, you're going to have to be more specific, because about half the population of America could technically be described as American food giant.
But truly, you could say him as the Jolly Green Giant. He's one of yours, isn't he? He's British. You could say that he could defend.
He's British. He's fictional, Dara.
Oh, well, that's real. Fictional British.
So he's green. What would make you think he wasn't one of yours?
It was more the smugness of him, to be honest. It was more the, Green Giant. Fuck you, you prick.
What would be great if when Cadbury shuts down, if just a load of Oompa Loompas come out of the gate like that.
I was actually shown round the Cadbury's factory just south of Birmingham.
Did Willy Wonka take you?
And basically what happened was, you'd think when anybody works in a chocolate factory probably wouldn't be that interested in the product because they're around it 24 hours a day. I was shown round by 4 of the largest ladies I've ever met. And their job was the milk tray would come on a conveyor belt and any imperfect ones that came along, they had to pick them up. And they'd literally go, that's not perfect. That's not perfect. Right? And the brilliant thing was, if everything was perfect for about 5 minutes, they'd just stick their finger in one and go, not perfect.
Can anyone worry about British institutions becoming foreign when the royal family have been German since 1700?
There's a guy called Ray Egan. Ray Egan is a retired policeman who stands outside British companies when they're about to be bought in order to protest it, actually, and stands like that, dresses up as John Bull, Kraft. What I love about it is the fact he goes, hey, hey, not just Kraft go to hell, but hey, so Kraft return, yeah? Go to hell.
There was this big thing with all the phone debates when people were phoning up complaining, and it was beautiful moments of radio. I don't know if anyone heard it, but there was a woman on the phone saying, it's terrible what they've done, it's terrible that we're allowing them to sell a British institution like Cadbury's. And the radio presenter, it was Jeremy Vine, he actually said, well, are you going to join the calls for a boycott of Cadbury's chocolate? She went, oh, I won't go that far.
My sister bought me a box of 48 bars, the standard size bars of dairy milk for Christmas, and I think she thought it would be like one a day and it would last for ages, and I just opened it with a kitchen knife. I did think about putting them all out on the bed and like writhing around naked like an indecent proposal.
Don't do that. Never mix sex and chocolate. Women tend to look like Morph.
OK, getting that round the point to Russell, John and Andy. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject tonight is unlikely things to hear at an awards ceremony.
Our next award is for most inaccurate weather forecast of the year. Let's look at the 9,000 nominees.
Welcome to the Islamic Awards for Acting, or as we call them, the Moscas.
Well, God, so many people to thank. Where to begin? Obvious one, I suppose, Hitler. What?
And the award for Best Envelope Glue goes to...
Now, Teacher of the Year. Quieten down. It's your own time you're wasting.
Time now for us to celebrate some of the stars of show business who sadly are still with us.
I'll just open the envelope. Oh, it's full of gold.
And the award for special effects goes to the team behind Gordon Brown's smile.
And now we're going to watch a film showing some of the people that we've lost this year, including 2 you didn't even know were dead.
I'd bang that, wouldn't bang that, I'd bang that. Anyway, the award for Best Actress goes to...
Welcome to the Accident at Work Awards.
And winner of the Suicide Bomber of the Year. I'm afraid they couldn't be with us tonight.
And the winner of the Best Scientist in Physics is... There's no ramp, Stephen Hawkins, it's not you.
The next category is things you wouldn't want to hear on a cruise.
This is your captain speaking. Welcome to Somali Cruising.
We've had reports of an iceberg, but don't worry, no ship has ever been sunk by a lettuce.
Hello and welcome to Ryanair Cruises. The following safety announcement is incredibly vital if you want to stay alive. And if you'd like to hear that, that'll be an extra £5.
No, we very rarely get any injuries from people playing quoits. You were just unlucky to be sunbathing naked with an erection.
Oh, yeah, we were on this last year when it sunk.
If you look to your left, there's a man eating squid. After that, he's having chips.
I would like to apologise for the rocking of this boat, but we are currently being humped by a whale.
Thanks for coming to the show. I've got to be honest, it's been a while since I've sung this one. Do you want to be in my gang, my gang?
Welcome to Rita's Erotic Ping Pong Bingo. 2 fat ladies, 82. All the 3s, 33. Oh, some hobnobs.
For those of you gathering on the car deck, I said we would soon be docking, not dogging.
I'm looking for a really old husband with money. How's your heart?
Yeah, I'm in the cabin next to yours. Could you be a bit noisy when you're having sex?
There appears to have been an incident in the swimming pool. If a Mr. Barrymore could contact the captain.
Okay, at the end of that round, points go to Chris, Hugh and Sarah. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, John Bishop and Russell Howard. Commiserations to Chris Addison, Hugh Dennis and Sarah Milliken. Thanks for watching. I'm Darveen. Good night.
Still an hour of comedy to entertain you here on BBC Two tonight. Rab C's The Voice of the People next. Then Paul Whitehouse and Charlie Hickson take on a string of new personas. Bellamy's People at 10.